What's up, y'all? It's the MMA analyst here to do, let's not talk, can't really be a recap. Here to just discuss what I missed over the last week. I don't really like to be apologetic and whatnot because that means, you apologize for something you did wrong. I don't really feel like I did anything wrong. I was just really busy and unable to get things done in the middle of the week. It was a very busy week. But, so we have the UFC live Sanchez versus Kampmann and Strikeforce Feijao versus Henderson. Before I get to that, I think maybe about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, I put out a little call to folks to see if y'all can help me out with something. Now, something big is coming up, and something I've been working on, something I'm going to kind of debut to all my peoples, and I'm going to bring that to you guys soon. It's non-MMA related, and it does require some help. So maybe you guys can help me out with that. Just feel her out, pause. By the way, I'm gonna say pause instead of no homo from now on. Just cause that's how you can also do it. So rather than all the no homos and stuff, try and keep it a little more professional. So just pause. You know what I mean? If you hear me say pause, that's what I'm saying. But anyways. Right now, I'm talking about a blog. I gotta put together a blog. My internet stuff, I'm pretty good with the internet. I can go from place to place, and I'm all good with stuff. But I mean, when it comes to blogs, even the most simple blog, and making a blog look not like it's every other blog, man, I tried. Anyways, I tried some stuff with some folks to actually put together a website a couple times. Massive fails, epic fails. It's hard working with folks. So what I'm trying to do now is just put together a blog. I just need something. Hit me up. It will be a very short amount of necessary time of interaction back and forth. I don't want to bother people. It's not a whole lot. It's just literally taking one of those regular blogs, WordPress, whatever, taking that, kind of making it, so it's my thing, so it looks like it's, something, and then attaching that to a domain name. Hit me up if you guys can help somebody. I'm in some help. I need some help there. This other thing, by the way, is bigger. It's much bigger, and I'm going to need help from everybody. But we'll get to that again once I have something to show you. Anyways, let's start with what everybody wants me to talk about. Diego the Dream Sanchez versus Martin Kampmann. First things first. In the first round of that fight, I thought, wow, has Diego slipped this far? Is he so far gone that this is where he is? And I don't mean that meaning Martin Kampmann isn't a good fighter, or that Martin Kampmann isn't potentially top 10. Or Martin Kampmann, if with some game plans and somebody behind him that will slap some sense into him, couldn't be highly ranked. I'm just saying Diego Sanchez looked bad. He was flabby for the first time in his life. I mean, he looked like Eddie Sanchez. He had that bald, ugly head. Certain people, they cut off the bald head. They got the Sheen look. No Charlie. And they've got like all types of crazy, and you know what I mean? He looked ugly, just terrible. And like I said, flabby, bald head, Eddie Sanchez looking, slow on his feet. His stand-up seems to get worse and worse and worse. It seems like every fight, Diego Sanchez has worse stand-up than before. I don't know what he's doing, or where he is training or not training his stand-up, but he's got to switch it up. It's getting worse and worse. And against Martin Kampmann was just like, this ain't nothing. He was calm. Pop, busting his face up round one. I'm like, wow, damn. Diego going for takedowns. Kampmann is just like, son, get off me. Easy stuffs. Easy. And I'm like, wow, he's slow. Diego Sanchez, everything that Diego Sanchez was before, it looked like he was no longer. He was out of shape, or at least appeared to be. Slow. His wrestling was non-existent other than long shots and pushing you up against the cage and hanging out in bad places and didn't have the right head positioning and just really bad. And Martin Kampmann also was able to do what he needed to do to stop that. It's not like Martin Kampmann is a bum in the wrestling department. But Diego Sanchez of old is something else. So I'm like, wow, he's done. Like, he's done being relevant in any division. And that's crazy. Because, it is what it is. And then Martin Kampmann goes, hold up. Don't write him off too soon. I still haven't kicked into my gear of stupidity. And that's what he does. Martin Kampmann is a great fighter, very well-rounded. But he decides to put his back to the cage and swing it out with Paul Daly. He decides to try and grapple with Jake Shields, who is dead tired. He also was very tired in that fight as well. So he's coming into fights with guys like Jake Shields out of shape. And then trying to submit him. And now he's against Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez's face is looking like, it was the T for T-ball with these little league kids. They just kept missing the ball. And all he has to do is keep doing what he's doing, and all of a sudden he starts standing up against the wall, leaning into punches, getting punched. He lets it become a brawl. The fight is Martin Kampmann's to lose, and he goes, don't worry, guys, don't worry. Whoa, just slow down. If you guys want me to lose, just don't worry about it. I'm on top of it. I'm going to make a good enough case for judges to make a decision against me, and that's what happened. Round 1, obviously, Martin Kampmann. Round 2 could have gone either way. I thought Martin Kampmann won it, but I didn't know why he was doing what he was doing. Round 3, clearly Diego Sanchez. And when it came to the end of the fight, it had reached a point where I'm thinking about all these different times that Martin Kampmann had done stupid things in fights, fought fights in ways that he's literally losing the fight for himself. He could easily go out there and try and take down Paul Daly and submit him or at least tire him out or whatever. Didn't do it. He could keep the fight on the feet with Jake Shields, but didn't come in shape and then started trying to grapple with Shields. Stupid. And now he let this fight, not in the first round, but after Sanchez was already beat down, then he let it become a brawl. And I'm like, you know what? I hope the judges give this fight to Diego Sanchez. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know if it's a robbery if he does. I think it's close. It's definitely not like Leonard Garcia. It's definitely not that level of wild, useless striking. But it is what it is. And I didn't care. I'm like, just give this to Diego Sanchez. Martin Kampmann has to learn a lesson. Have him lose a couple fights in a row. Maybe he'll get smarter. Maybe he'll grow. And that's what happened. Do I think it was a robbery? No. Do I think Diego Sanchez should have won that fight? No. Do I think that it is a positive thing for anybody else other than these favorites of Dana White's that they get an extra $100,000 for fighting the way he wants when everybody should be getting paid way more? Absolutely not. Diego Sanchez, Martin Kampmann, they love it. They got like an extra $160,000. They can't hate on that. And anybody who gets any of these bonuses can't hate on it. But the fact remains, it's a whole different video. These guys are getting paid garbage. And if I say to you, I'm going to give you $30,000 to fight. But if you do what I want you to do, I could potentially triple your wage. I could, in an instant, change your life for the year. If you do, that's slave tactics. Slave tactics. Not to say that they're slaves. They have their own choice, but they're also somewhat handcuffed. Also, another video, like I said, congrats for getting extra money, but damn. CB Dollaway versus Mark Munoz. CB was out. Simple as that. Mark caught him. Good job. Sakara versus Weidman. It is what it is. Really, 30-27 though. They gave all the three judges gave the first round to Weidman. All he did was go for takedowns and not get any. Crazy, but not really worth talking about. Brian Bowles versus Damasio Page. Crazy that like a few years ago they fought. and it ended in a guillotine choke at the exact same time, at the exact same round. I don't know how many times you guys could fight and how long. You can have rematches every single day for the rest of your life, and the fight will probably not end at the exact same time. Even if you tried, could submission in, the guy waits a little longer to tap, put the submission in, the guy taps, but then the clock ticks for another second. The exact same time. I'm just saying, really interesting event. Cyril Diabate got the win against Steve Cantwell. Steve Cantwell, horrible game plan. Striking is not anywhere near to Diabate, and he just owned him. Joe Stevenson. Is Joe Stevenson going to get cut? I think so. Third loss in a row against, I think it's a UFC newcomer, maybe. He's been in the WC all the time, but I'm just saying. Thiago Tavares versus Shane Roller. You know what? I didn't think that Shane Roller's striking looked that bad waist up. His kicks were horrible. But my man Joe was going crazy, just going off on him. And I'm like, yo, Shane's kind of calm. He's trying to be that boxer. He's got the arm low. Not smart, but he's got it, and he's real calm, and he's kind of moving his head back and forth. Whenever he strikes moving forward, that was disgusting. But whenever he was being calm, he was in there. And when he got tagged, you see a lot of so-called strikers get tagged, and their hands come down. They start running around. They don't know what to do. The ground starts getting slippery. He got hit, boom, and he was just like, I'm good. And he just up against the cage, calm, up against the cage. First thing, as soon as he got hit, he had his hands up, straight blocked a knockout kick. That would have been, boom, out cold. But nah, he got hit. Oh, he's hurt. Put his hands up, boom, watch. All the stuff came in. He was moving with the punches. He was doing his thing. I didn't think his striking was as bad as Joe was talking about. His kicking sucked. But he was saying stuff like, he's just a wrestler who's trying to box, or he's, in the end, he looked like a lot better than a lot of these guys who are supposedly strikers. Again, waist up. The kicks were terrible. Tough loss for Thiago Tavares. And I saw the Igor Pakrajak versus Todd Brown straight up beat down. I didn't see the Husamo Parleris, but he won by my baby's crying. My wife's got him. I'm not just sitting here doing videos when my baby cries unattended. Come on now. Come on. Husamo Parleris, another knee bar. Another one bites the dust. I didn't see the Rob Kimmins. I didn't see the Mizugaki. So that was that. Pretty good night of fights. Strikeforce, Feijao, Henderson. What are we going to talk about? Melvin Manhoef. Damn, dog. I don't know. You're doing the MMA thing. So you got to actually do the MMA thing. Losing to Robbie Lawler, he kind of got sloppy, as he always does when he starts to get the upper hand, whatever happens. He's out there, Robbie Lawler, kicking the hell out of his leg. Robbie Lawler's like, I got to get out of here. Knocks him out. Mizuno smashes Mizuno, just destroys Mizuno. And Mizuno actually tags him, submits him. And then Tim Kennedy, he didn't have much more time on his leg either. Tim Kennedy got the takedown, and that was it. If you're going to do MMA, do MMA. Or, I don't know. If you're going to do it. Because you're out here repeatedly. People are afraid of your game. But they recognize all I have to do is get him to the ground. If I can just get him to the ground, the fight's over. And fights go to the ground. So Tim Kennedy, good win. We'll also talk about Marlos Conan versus Liz Carmouche. Anyways, good fight. Liz really was... At the beginning, I was kind of... Her striking, she was kind of going through the motions of striking. Like, good head movement, going through the punch motions, but, homegirl wasn't really there. She's just going through the motions. Dun, 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 dun. But she was actually doing all right. She tagged Marlos a couple times. Nothing special. But got the fight to the ground. Was really powerful. Really strong. Got into mount. If there were elbows in Strikeforce, the fight probably would have been over. If there were elbows in Strikeforce. Elbows to down opponents. So instead of elbows, she was throwing these little teeny ass baby punches. Really, that's what they were. Marlos, they said to her after, how did those feel compared to Cyborg? And she said they felt like kisses. It's probably not being disrespectful. She's just telling the truth. Anyways, so she's throwing all these little baby punches. Just a lot of quantity, but not much force or quality. The referee can't stop the fight. Every now and then, all Marlos has to do is buck up, throw a couple punches back, and she buys herself some time. Both round 1 and round 2 ended like that. I forget what happened in round 3, but in round 4, Marlos did her thing. She got her in the triangle choke. Beautiful. I mean, there's a comeback from behind win. It wasn't necessarily Anderson Sonnen type, but it was a situation where Marlos was getting taken down and dominated on the ground. She couldn't find an answer to the situation, to the problem. And there you go. She got the win. Good win. I want to see her fight Miesha Tate. I didn't get to tell everybody how depressed I was when I found out Miesha Tate would not be in this fight. I was depressed. I didn't cry, but it did hurt a lot. And I'm not going to lie. It hurt a lot. A lot. It still hurts. This fight needs to happen. Rafael Cavalcante versus Dan Henderson. It was an alright fight. Dan got rocked in the first. I'm like, oh snap, could it be over? Cavalcante standing over dude, throwing punches and just gets taken down. Dan comes off his back and takes him down. I'm like, really? You let that happen? Not that I wanted him to win, I'm just saying. How do you let that happen? And then, moved on, second round. Back and forth. The ground game was okay. They weren't exactly laying without trying to do things. I mean, it's very hard to sweep somebody if all they're doing is holding you. So they were active on the ground. A lot of positional changes on the ground. But round 3, Dan came. I don't want to call it the H-bomb because that just, I don't know. I don't know what it sounds. But just Dan comes through with the 1-2. Gets inside. And, Cavalcante, it's not like his hand positioning was bad. His hands were up, but he came on the inside. I think he might have hit him with, the pinky knuckle. Just enough. Maybe it is the H-bomb, because how many times can you just brush against the chin? And Cavalcante just lost it all. Whoa, fell in face first, and then Dan Henderson jumped on him with some vicious ground and pound. Good Lord, referee, don't let this happen for too long. And Dan wins. To talk about Dan against Fedor, just for the record, I don't want to see Fedor at 205, okay? If Fedor fights at 205, I'll watch. But I don't want to see it. I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in Fedor versus Henderson unless it's a GP and unless it's for pride. So that can't happen. I'm not interested in it. Anyways, just saying. Good win for Dan Henderson. It was pretty good. Again, the fights were okay. Big fight coming up. I'm just going to say it like this. If it's Shogun at 100% against John Jones at 100%, John Jones gets murdered. We just don't know what percent Shogun's going to be at. I doubt it's 100%. It's going to be a tough one. MMA. It's important. Wait. Again, hit me up. You can find me on Facebook. You can inbox me on YouTube. Let me know if you can help me with this site, this blog. I need it. It will help me very much with my MMA video making, whatever, whatnot. It will force me to do a lot more videos. MMA, it's important. Peace.